Forgive us when we say foolish things. We don't mean to make things harder. To those who are foster moms, mentor moms, and spiritual moms, we need you. To those who have warm and close relationships with their children, we celebrate with you. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with their children, we sit with you. To those who lost their mothers this year, we grieve with you. To those who lived through driving tests, medical tests, and overall testing of motherhood, we are better for having them in our midst. To those who are single and long to be married and mothering your own children, we mourn that life has not turned out the way you long for it to be. To those who step-parent, we walk with you on these complex paths. To those who envision lavish love of grandchildren, yet that dream is not to be, we grieve with you. To those who will have empty your nest in the upcoming year, we grieve and rejoice with you. And to those who are pregnant with new life, both expecting and surprising, we anticipate with you. Top 14 things my mother taught me. Mother taught me about anticipation. Just wait until your father gets home. My mother taught me about receiving. You are going to get it when we get home. My mother taught me to meet a challenge. What were you thinking? Answer me when I talk to you. Don't talk back to me. My mother taught me logic. If you fall off that swing and break your neck, you're not going to the store with me. My mother taught me medical science. If you don't stop crossing your eyes, they're going to freeze that way. My mother taught me to think ahead. If you don't pass your spelling test, you will never get a good job. My mother taught me ESP. Put your sweater on. Don't you think I know when you're cold? My mother taught me humor. When that lawnmower cuts off your toes, don't come running to me. My mother taught me how to become an adult. If you don't eat your vegetables, you'll never grow up. My mother taught me about money. Do you think money grows on trees? My mother taught me about genetics. You're just like your father. My mother taught me about my roots. Do you think you were born in a barn? My mother taught me the wisdom of age. When you get to be my age, you will understand. And my all-time favorite, justice. One day you'll have kids, and I hope they turn out just like you. Then you'll see what it's like. Job description of a mom. Position. Mother, mom, mama, mommy, ma. Job description. Long-term team player needed for challenging permanent work in an often chaotic environment. Candidates must possess excellent communication and organizational skills and be willing to work variable hours, which will include evenings and weekends and frequent 24-hour shifts on call. Some overnight travel required, including trips to primitive camping sites on rainy weekends and endless sports tournaments in faraway cities. Travel expenses not reimbursed. Extensive career duties also required. Responsibilities. Great job security. This job lasts for the rest of your life. Must be willing to be hated, and at least temporarily, until someone needs $5. must be willing to bite tongue repeatedly, also must possess the physical stamina of a pack mule and be able to go from 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat. In case this time, the screams from the backyard are not someone just crying wolf. Must be willing to face stimulating technical challenges such as a small gadget repair, mysteriously sluggish toilets, and stuck zippers. Must screen phone calls, maintain calendars, and coordinate production of multiple homework projects. Must have ability to plan and organize social gatherings for clients of all ages and mental outlooks. Must be willing to be indispensable 1 minute and an embarrassment the next. Must handle assembly and productive safety testing of 500,000 cheap plastic toys and battery-operated devices. Must always hope for the best but be prepared for the worst. Must assume final complete accountability for the quality of the end product. Responsibilities also include floor maintenance and janitorial work throughout the facility. Possibility for advancement and promotion, virtually none. Your job is to remain the same position for years without complaining, constantly retraining and updating your skills so that those you are in charge can ultimately surpass you. Previous experience, none required, unfortunately, on-the-job training offered on a continually exhausting basis. Wages and compensation. Get this, you pay them. You offer them frequent raises and bonuses. A balloon payment is due when they turn 18 because of the assumption that college will help them become financially independent. Then when you die, you give them whatever is left. The oddest thing about this reverse salary scheme is that you actually enjoy it and wish you could only do more. The benefits. No health or dental insurance, no pension, no tuition reimbursement, no paid holidays, and no stock options are offered. However, this job supplies limited opportunities for personal growth and free hugs for life if you play your cards just right. Special date. After 21 years of marriage, I went out with another woman. But it was really my wife's idea. I know that you love her, my wife said one day, taking me by surprise. But I love you, I protested. I know, but you also love her. The other woman that my wife wanted me to visit was my mother. Mom had been a widow for 19 years, and the demands of my work and my 3 children had made it possible to visit her only on occasion. So that night, my wife suggested I call to invite my mom to go out for dinner and a movie. "What's wrong? Aren't you well?" Mom asked when I phoned. My mother was always the type of woman who suspects that a late-night call or a surprise invitation is a sign of bad news. "No, I'm fine. I just thought it would be pleasant to pass some time with you," I responded. "Just the 2 of us." She thought about it for a moment and said, "I'd like that very much." That Friday after work, as I drove over to pick her up, I was a bit nervous. When I arrived at her house, I noticed that she too seemed to be nervous about our date. She waited at the door with her coat on. She had curled her hair and was wearing the dress that she had worn to celebrate her last wedding anniversary. She smiled from a face that was as radiant as an angel's. "I told my friends that I was going out with my son, and they were impressed," she said, as she got into the car. "They can't wait to hear about our meeting." We went to a restaurant that, although not elegant, was very nice and cozy. took my arm as if she was the first lady. After we sat down, I had to read the menu. Her eyes could only read large print. Halfway through the entrees, I lifted my eyes and saw Mom sitting there staring at me. A nostalgic smile was on her lips. It was I who used to have to read the menu when you were small, she said. Then it's time that you relax and let me return the favor, I responded. During the dinner, we had an agreeable conversation, nothing extraordinary, but just catching up on recent events of each other's lives. In fact, we talked so much that we missed the movie. As we arrived at her house later, she said, "I'll go out with you again, but only if you let me invite you." I agreed. "How was your dinner date?" asked my wife when I got home. "Very nice. Much more so than I could have imagined," I answered. A few days later, my mother died of a massive heart attack. It happened so suddenly that I didn't have a chance to do anything for her. Sometime later, I received an envelope with a copy of a restaurant receipt from the same place Mother and I had dined. An attached note said, "I paid this bill in advance. I was almost sure that I couldn't be there, but nevertheless I paid for 2 plates, one for you and the other for your wife. You will never know what that night out with you meant for me. I love you, Mom." At that moment, I understood the importance of saying in time, "I love you," and to give our loved ones the time that they deserve. Nothing in life is more important than God and your family. Give them the time they deserve, because these things cannot be put off. Thank God for moms. Mom and Dad were watching TV when Mom said, "I'm tired. It's getting late. I think I'll go to bed." She went to the kitchen to make sandwiches for the next day luncheons, rinsed out the popcorn bowls, took meat out of the freezer for supper the following evening, checked the cereal box levels, filled the sugar container, put spoons and bowls on the table, and started the coffee pot for brewing the next morning. She then put some wet clothes in the dryer, put a load of clothes in the wash, ironed a shirt and secured a loose button. She picked up the game pieces left on the table, put the telephone book back into the drawer. She watered the plants, emptied a wastebasket and hung a towel to dry. She yawned and stretched and headed for the bedroom. She stopped by the desk and wrote a note to the teacher, counted out some cash for the field trip, and pulled a textbook out from hiding under the chair. She signed a birthday card for a friend, addressed and stamped the envelopes, and wrote a quick note for the grocery store. She put both near her purse. Mom then washed her face with 3-in-1 cleanser, put on her night solution and age-fighting moisture, brushed and flossed her teeth, and filed her nails. Dad called out, "I thought you were going to bed." "I'm on my way," she said. She put some water into the dog's dish and put the cat outside, then made sure the door was locked. She looked in on each of the kids and turned out their bedside lamp, hung a shirt, threw some dirty socks in the hamper, and had a brief conversation with the one up still doing homework in her own room. She set the alarm, laid out clothing for the next day, straightened up the shoe rack. She added 3 things to her 6 most important things to do list. She said her prayers and visualized the accomplishments of her goals. About that time, Dad turned off the TV and announced to no one in particular, "I'm going to bed," and he did without another thought. Anything extraordinary here? Thank God for mothers. Us men are definitely wired different. We wouldn't make it without the mothers. I like this one, but I'm going to have to skip it. On his first day as a waiter, a teenage boy excitedly grabbed 2 dining trays full of food and carried them out, one in each hand. Seeing the boy's recklessness, the manager immediately demoted the boy to dishwasher. The boy was devastated. So after work, the boy rushed home and, in tears, spilled the story to his father. The father began to lecture the boy about his recklessness and to advise him how to win the manager's trust again. After the lecture, the boy looked sadly at his father and said, "Mom would have given me a hug." Mother's comfort can be a powerful thing. When a child is hurt, upset, frustrated, or saddened, it is the mother he goes running to comfort first and advice later. Moms, the Lord has given you strength and knowledge that no man can even comprehend. At a grocery store, a mother was considering cans of vegetables while her son was riding the cart. The boy snuck a can of asparagus off the shelf and held it up to his mother. "Mommy, let's get this." "Ooh, pumpkin, I love asparagus. It's my favorite, but it's just too expensive." At Christmas, the 6-year-old grabbed a poorly wrapped gift and said, "Open this one, Mommy." The mother unwrapped it, and in her hand, she held a can of asparagus. The boy beamed. "I saved my allowance for the whole year to get you that." Mothers look forward to those days. And then they turn into teenagers. Each of us has had a mother. Good or bad, we each have the Spirit of the Lord within us to celebrate this day and honor mothers in this way, with love and compassion. To remember it and learn so we can be a better person with more love in our hearts. May the Lord continue to bless us with loving mothers, maternal, adoptive, caring and nurturing women, and most of all, caring saints that mother us all through life with their kindness and love to all. Happy Mother's Day. You do deserve this honor.
Let's stand in the singing of the closing hymn, number 100. Remain standing for the closing hymn. 100.
This God is the God we adore, our faithful, unchangeable friend, whose love is as large as His power, and there's no beginning nor end. 'Tis Jesus, the first and the last, whose Spirit will guide us safe home. We'll praise Him for all that is past, and trust Him for all that's to come.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time we've had to share together with you and to share those thoughts with the speaker of the hour concerning mothers and the duties surrounding them. We need to be reminded once in a while, Father, of the worth of souls, and especially the worth of the ladies who give so much of themselves in order that your gospel may be promoted. So bless each one this day as we celebrate our mothers. And bless each one of us as we leave this place and go to our separate ways. Pray you will protect us and guide and direct us. That the future days ahead, that we might be prepared to meet those obstacles which may come to us, and be prepared to share your love with all those who we come in contact. In Jesus' name, amen.